The definition of conformity is the compliance with standards, rules, and laws. I feel as if conforming is when like someone just straight up compromises themselves to fit in or to please somebody else but themselves.
Right. Oh, yeah.
This saying that I found, it was like I think the only reward for conformity is that everyone loves you except yourself.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game. I skip bricks, you would call me insane. I grind hard so the universe.
That's like
I never ever listen to that guy. Oh,
but you know it's get it though.
What's that? That was
Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Lil Pump.
Oh wait, Lil Pump. Lil Pump. Was he the song that was he the one that made that song
Gucci Gang? Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
No, I know that one. It might have been 6ix9ine that made the one what's the name of that damn song? It had a very weird name. You remember the the Hood Power Rangers video? The song was called Cuda. That was the name of the song. Yeah, it was a very weird name to a song, but for the most part, it kind of was a freestyle. Let me look that up.
Might have been 6ix9ine. Cool.
Yeah, I think it was 6ix9ine.
Like Barracuda, like the fish.
No, the song was just called Cuda. I think it was like Kuda or something, or Kooda. I'm not really sure. It was 6ix9ine.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was 6ix9ine.
Tragic. How does this man get out?
He won't. Oh,
because of it. Yeah, because of coronavirus.
Oh, that's
he got that much pull. Coronavirus happened, and they was like, oh, we gotta let him out. You know, he don't want to catch the corona in prison, so we gotta let him out.
Oh, was he one of the was he one of the inmates that had like the whole setup in prison? Like he had like the whole like office or couch and like like a whole apartment.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean that seems that seems to happen a lot.
Yeah,
and
snitches. Yeah.
Nah, I mean just rich folk.
He rich?
I mean people with money.
Oh, all right.
I guess I could say
yeah. Yeah,
people with money. I ain't gonna say
somewhat
rich.
A record deal, I guess.
Who is he signed to?
That's why I said somewhat a record deal. I'm like, have you heard the music he be putting out?
I tried not to actually. But Cuda, the reason why I brought that song up, because I actually like the sound of it, and it was in the Hood Power Rangers video, and it played in the background.
Oh yeah, and Mr.
yeah.
Oh, all right.
I like the. I think it's the beat that really got me.
Squad.
Yeah. I think it's the beat that really got me. That's what.
Right.
But I, just like. Random like listening to music like that probably ain't what I'm playing, because it definitely doesn't have much of a message at all.
None.
So yeah, that's definitely not one of the songs that I'm listening to.
Understand what he's saying half the time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dirty Trunk Podcast. It is your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mac. Today I want to talk about conformity. Why?
Conforming.
Why?
Play-Doh.
Do we always conform?
Flubber.
And it's great. Flubber.
I was just trying to think of things that get molded by his environment.
True. Flubber was like he turned into anything. He was a dancing machine, boy.
He was just goo. He's just like wherever he goes, like whatever he's in, that was his shape. It's like smoke. Like when smoke gets inside a bottle, it's the shape of a bottle.
True. But it's what
Let me ask a question before we get into the. Because I remember I want to do the whole random question thing before we get into the topic.
Okay. All right.
So,
Let's do
random thought:
it.
is it me, or is it weird to greet people in public?
Greet people,
Mhm.
like just like, hey, hello, or
Yeah. Is it weird?
I mean, all right. See what that is. Like, your parents always told you,
Mhm.
you know, never speak to strangers. But like,
Right.
how you gonna make friends? Like they started out as strangers at the beginning.
Those are parental failure techniques that people teach their kids so they don't have to worry about the danger of their kids wandering off. But let me tell you what I mean, because I'm not and you know, I don't want to put it out there like I'm like rude or something. But it's weird to speak to people because it's like it's not sincerity most of the time. It's like, and I'm not talking like hey hello.
Ooh,
Hello.
yeah, I
like
know what you're
saying
talking about.
hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, those things like that, that's cool. But it's like when I'm walking past somebody and we're going in two opposite directions, we're walking in two different directions. Not like we're walking to each other, we're walking past one another. So if I'm walking past another person in the hallway or something, why would they ask me, how am I doing?
maybe it's like social norm. Like they say it a
So-
lot, so it's just like not muscle memory, but like, well, kind of like muscle memory. It just happens.
It's what is the word? It's a word that I use to describe it. It's like kind of like you just said, muscle memory, but it's like, and I'm gonna use the example of what I was talking about. This morning, I'll go to work and I'm walking into, both of us out in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody else around. We're obviously talking to one another. I say hello, and this other person says, "Hey, how you doing?" But they didn't stop to get the answer. They just kept walking.
Yeah,
And I'm like, yo, how do we get here?
it's like, all right, everybody has like a what would you call it? A set dialogue for like certain instance. Like if they hear something, it's just automatically programmed. All right, say this. and
Social,
respond.
it's social programming. That's what I called
Yeah.
it. Social programming. It's like you don't care what the answer to that question is, but you're just trying to be polite. So you ask that, even though you don't care, you're not going to sit there and listen to the answer. And if I do say something, you just be like, you're going to have this old dance thing going on, like I got to go. So I just thought it was kind of strange. Like I ain't want to be like I'm rude, because I try to speak to everybody that I come in contact with, because that's just I like to try to put that energy out into the universe now anyway. I just try to be positive and upbeat around everybody and try to say, hey, hello, nice, good morning, buenos dias, things like that. but when people just started being like, como estas, and they just keep walking, I'm just like, but I was about to tell you how my day was going.
Those two words, you asked the whole question.
Right, exactly, fam. So I just wanted to ask that right quick, but we can go ahead and get into the topic. We're talking about conforming and social, just pretty much, not necessarily in social settings, but just conforming in general. I have a lot to say about that, man. A lot to say.
Awesome.
A lot to say. And I even got some stuff over here.
Okay.
So I want to ask you, like, why this topic?
So like it kind of came out of nowhere. It hit me. But like when I was in church, like I would catch on to things like real easily, like whole biblical stuff, like the metaphors and stuff. I understood it.
Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this out here, and you probably don't know this, but and you seem to be like the humble dude. So you probably won't even think in this direction, but you're a little deeper than most. So you had to understand that, you're going to be a little bit more in tune to self-awareness than most.
And that's interesting because, like, so we'll be in, little Sunday class or whatever, and like it won't really pick him, but like this one time, like this girl was like, something had happened. Teacher asked something, or they were talking about something. It was like, oh, we all know Marc is gonna make it to heaven. I'm like, I mean, I want y'all to come too. Like, I felt bad. Like, when she said that, I was like, I don't want to be the only one. Like, Jesus, like, come on now. Yeah, come with me. Like, come on. And it made me feel bad a little bit. Like, I'm just like, I don't necessarily want to be like them, but like, why aren't y'all like up here? Like, what's going on? Like, should I?
Okay, so this situation you were talking about, like, you going where? What were we talking about?
I didn't. Luckily, I didn't like conform, but I was thinking of it, like, being down on. Dang, make it sound bad. Being down on their standards and stuff like that. Though.
He is what he is.
Yeah. And it got me to thinking and all that other stuff. And yeah, that's basically how this topic can be.
Okay.
Yeah, like why do we try to fit in with the social norm? Why is that a must?
I don't know, man. Like I could think back on like growing up and like being in school. It was weird to be different.
Yeah, always.
Like it was weird. Like if you were like a different, oh man, it don't be. I came from a school system where it was predominantly black. Coming in from Petersburg, Virginia, like it ain't that many white people here. Like hell, I only graduated with like 10 Mexicans, and they all were like part of the same family with the same last name and stuff. There was like 2 white kids, literally two white kids in my school system. So like, and it was like that from the time I was in like elementary school all the way up, and it's like. When somebody of a different color came through, they kind of got put in this box where it's like, okay, so you different from us, so we don't want to be like mad disrespectful right up front. So we gonna treat you a little bit different than we treat everybody else because we don't understand you. It's almost like if you pick up a cat and drop it in a group full of dogs. You know what that cat's going to do? The cat's going to start sniffing around because it don't understand what is around.
Yeah, I had that same thought. Like it's kind of almost in animals too, but like say you pick up like a cat as a kitten and it's raised around dogs. Instinctively, it'll act
those
like
dogs
a dog.
do. Right? Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, so is it like an environment thing? Is it a mental thing? Is it all the above? Or
I can't. It's an environment thing, definitely.
Right.
For sure, it's an environment thing. It's not a mental thing. Well, it's a mentality, and it could be taught. And the problem here is that it is taught,
right?
Because it's the same kind of thought process that breeds racism. Because it's like that one thing that's different. How do I treat it? How do I label it? Okay. And it's all that's where it comes from. It's just those labels that people want to live by. It's like, okay, am I black? Am I white? Is this person black? Is this person white? Are they smart? Are they dumb? What part of what school system do we go to? Are you part of this school system or that school system that taught this? Very people that taught that. So yeah, it's a social difference thing,
right?
And it kind of brings me back to I don't know if the people listening, if everybody remembers a show that used to come on Cartoon Network called Ed, Edd and Eddy, where the Ed boys were always trying to be like everybody else, and in the one episode in particular that really that's really coming back to me for some reason is the one where they were talking about defense. remember that Eddie kept trying to come up with the next new trend and trying to get everybody to catch on.
Right.
But what ended up happening was on the first fad that he did, I can't remember what it was. I had to go back and watch the episode to see what it was. But he tried something and everybody called him stupid for it. So they just kept cycling through these fads, these the next big thing, the next trendy topic or whatever. They kept cycling through these things, and then they got to the very end. They got criticized for the last one that they were doing, and then they realized that everybody around them was doing the very first thing that they did, and now all of a sudden that was trending. Now they got to catch up again. So it kind of brought me back to that. But the whole conforming to other people and the environment around you, that's kind of been my entire existence up until now. And the reason I say that is because it's like you get to a point where you live your entire life just like listening to people. Like I was bullied a lot growing up, so it was like what I was wasn't good enough. Because like everything that made me different was everything that made me hate it. And like growing up, like the fact that I thought different, the fact that I wasn't like on the same level mentally with all of my peers, because I've always been the type of person that surround myself with people who know more than me. I was the type of kid that I would much rather sit and listen to a conversation with the adults versus being outside playing with the other kids.
Right.
I never liked sitting at the kids' table, and I always sat around the adults because I want to hear what they talking about, because the conversation, the knowledge is what triggered me, not the act of being adolescent. So I was always pushed cast aside because of that. Like I never fit into any social group that you put me in. You know those movies where the main character is always trying to figure out which group in the high school they're being a part of. Like I was like the kids on Shrek that was like the nerds was being bullied by the jocks, but then there was like the super nerds that was being bullied by the nerds. Like I was like the super nerd. Like I couldn't fit in with nobody. So I've always been in this space where I was always trying to get people to accept me. And I know there's a lot of people who go through that. I know there's like, and I'm not trying to compare my struggle to any particular group of people. Like I know like mixed people, they go through similar challenges when it comes to race, like having to trying to figure out where they fit in into reality, like whether they fit in on the black side or whether they fit in on the white side. So they go through the same challenge, the same struggle. Like it's a daily struggle. But when you go through that for so long, you get to this point in life where you're trying to figure out what everybody else like so you can become that. And into my adult life, that bled over into my work ethic, and it screwed me up big.
I think acceptance is the main point of conforming, because there's a saying that it's crazy how plants are more courageous than almost all human beings. An orange tree would rather die than produce lemons.
Yeah.
Whereas instead of dying, like the average person would rather, be somebody that they're not to fit in.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real deep.
You should always like want to be yourself. If you're not like fitting in, or like if no one's accepting you, step outside the comfort zone and do your own thing. Like there's I forget the name of the school, but there was this school for engineering. It's mainly basically for like electricians, mechanics, all this other stuff. So how would you take all of that, a school that only does that, how would you get a band from that? So this school did something miraculously. Like they got a band, but it's not your average band. It's your band with like bagpipes and all this other stuff. And the kicker is they got flame-throwing trumpets. They got trumpets. that are flamethrowers.
What? Why?
They was like, we're going to take this social norm and we're going to make it our own and make it unique. We got freaking flame-throwing trumpets and instruments.
That's just being outside the box. And that's what that thing that made them unique, cast them worlds ahead in front of the rest.
Like they're I mean, the guy explaining it, he was like, you know, after like their a couple of performances or whatever, they had, you know, people everywhere. It's like, hey, could you play for our school? Could you do this? It's not necessarily that they were, you know, better than other bands musically.
Yeah, they were just unique.
Yeah,
they were different. And they're in that case, versus a lot of other cases, their uniqueness, their ability to stand out from the rest, push them forward.
Right.
There's a lot of cases that your ability to be a that sore thumb, as you call it, you stick out like a sore thumb. You know, that ability to do that sometimes could be either good or bad depending on the perception of the person, because some people may look at that as a bad thing and other people may look at it as a good thing. You know, you hear people all the time say, I'm just trying to fly under the radar. I'm just trying to be, I'm not trying to be seen. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be great at anything. I just want to be under the radar.
Out of sight.
Out of mind. There
yep.
Go. Exactly. And, you know, I'm going to want to get back to why this conversation hit me the way it did. When you said it, I was like, oh, we going to talk about that? It made me face some demons, man.
Come on, I'm sorry.
No, you good. Because like I said, everything that hurts you builds you up.
Yes, sir.
No pain, no gain, fam. And you know, I'm about being better than yesterday. That's my entire existence being better than yesterday.
I feel you.
And you know, I ain't perfect, but you know, I aspire to be like the greats.
Right.
And when you brought this conversation up to me, it just made me think back on why I've been failing so much. Like I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like I was talking to Lee recently, and we were talking about accomplishments because I think we were having a conversation about her degrees or whatnot, and I was telling her that, you know, I don't really have degrees. I got a stack of certificates though. Like I got a stack of certificates. Like, yeah, it's pretty hefty. And you know, I was at a point where I was like, yo, I haven't really accomplished anything. Like I really was saying that about myself. Like, yo, I've never accomplished anything. Like I always start stuff, I always stop stuff. Like I'll start something, I'll get like a certificate for something, and I'll just go on to the next thing. And you know, it kind of started when I was in the military. Like the whole perception of somebody who doesn't go the full 20 in the military, it kind of gets a bad rap because it's like you did 8 years, but why did you get out? Like everybody looks at getting out of the military as a bad thing. Right. Like it gets a really negative connotation. And I've done like a lot of businesses. Like I've been an entrepreneur for the last 6 years. Like I started my entrepreneur journey in 2014 when I almost had to file bankruptcy when my car got repossessed or whatnot. And I realized like, yo, I'll start something, and then when it doesn't work, instead of keeping it going with it and keep pushing at it, I'll let somebody deter me by saying something like, yo, you know, that ain't gonna work, or you still been doing, you still doing that, you ain't made no money yet, you ain't rich yet. Like I had a dude tell me one time when I was doing network marketing, he came at me a year later after I tried to prospect him, and he was like, yo, you ain't rich yet? And I was like, nah, man, still working on it. Right. And that's not what made me quit. But it made me feel some type of way about myself when my man was like, yeah, you know, and he was like being real sarcastic and facetious with it. It was like, yeah, when you become a millionaire, you know, let me come hit me up because I'm gonna need a job. And he was like being a real smart ass about it. So, you know, I just kind of brushed it off, and I was like, yo, my man was being like real, like mad disrespectful.
Real petty.
Real, and yeah, real petty. Exactly. Like, and I was like thinking about it. I was like, yo, maybe this ain't working. Like, I started all this doubt. And then what made it even worse was that, even though I was still on this journey to try to move forward, I've always been on this whole be better than you were yesterday, always wake up every day and learn something new, learn anything new, even if it's just a motivational quote or something, just learn something. And unfortunately, I was with a young lady who just did not see that same value in life.
Right.
And when stuff like that was happening, instead of saying, yeah, keep going, keep pushing, her values weren't right. So she was like, you know, if it ain't paying the bills, drop it and move on.
Right.
And that wasn't necessarily the right mentality to have.
So there's 3 reasons why people conform. And the one you just explained, or the one that you were hitting on, is the social impact theory. Social impact theory is when you conform from like feelings and emotions and like what people, you know, try to deter you from. Like prime example, the guy that was, you know, oh, you ain't rich yet. A better way to look at that is, I mean, you've started something. Where is he at? Is he in like the same exact
Still
place?
same
Same
job and
exact
everything.
place. At least you're making strides to you know better yourself and all this and that and third.
He did. I mean, I'm not going to say that he's in the same spot. He's working on something too. He's in music, but he did go on to drop an album. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure how far it went, but he definitely ain't good on the marketing tip like your boy. You know who you are. If you need help, we got a record deal. We got a record label coming in the future.
Okay,
you gonna be our first artist. I'll hire you.
But
just off of that statement alone, yeah, I'll give you a job, my dude. You got it. You got a job.
Tragic, but that is something that people face like a lot, and it hurts.
It's a killer, bro.
It plays on your feeling strings, your pride a little bit, and it hurts.
Yeah, especially with, like, when it comes from like a stranger. Just to add on to what you just said, like if it comes from a stranger, you kind of take it like with a grain of salt, and just like it's in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
but you don't really pay attention to it. But when it's from home, fam.
Yeah, that's
when it comes from somebody that you love and trust. That's where it really started to burn at you. And like, you gotta think about it. Like, dog, I had my mom like acting a certain type of way towards me. Then I had my ex, somebody who I was married to, acting a certain type of way towards me. And then it's like, if I try to talk to the people around me about my goals, my dreams, they weren't trying to have it. And then you start to feel even more outcasted because nobody else is talking in high vision, is what I'm gonna say. Nobody else sees anything more than what they're currently doing. So then you start to think like, yo, am I really, like, is this really the way? And we kind of talked about that a few weeks ago. Plenty of times. This is at least 4 episodes right now where we talked about people who want to talk down here when you want to talk up here. And I wanted to elaborate on that because I kind of, during the editing process, it kind of, you kind of get lost at what that means. And when I say when people who talk up here, I'm talking about the 2% of society that they strive to be more. They strive to do more. They want to live the lives that they want to live. Right. They don't live paycheck to paycheck. They're not thinking about going to work. They want to create wealth instead of searching for paychecks. And everybody else, the ones down here, are the ones that want to cry about VTO, claim that their job is not paying them enough, and the ones that want to They want to complain about the problems instead of doing something about it. So that's the difference between the people who talk up here versus the people who talk down here. So if you ever seen me or heard us talking about that, then that's what just clarifying what that means.
And to kind of go with that, the people like that, I feel like it's real sad because like I was talking about when I was in church, like it kind of hurts when like people don't, kind of agree with your own standards, even if like your standards is like, not even way out there, but just bettering yourself. Like why wouldn't somebody want that? Like we live in a society that's all about the social norm is if you're not married or like having kids by like your mid-20s, you looked at as like
a failure.
Yeah, like you a social communist,
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. Like my thing with bringing in kids and like I want to be financially stable. I don't want to bring a child in a place where it's like, I'm struggling to make ends meet.
Right.
We gotta take, not really, but take food from his mouth to, pay rent or something like that.
And you just essentially bring a child into a really bad situation.
Yeah.
It's like I'm already struggling, so why would I bring another life into the struggle?
And that formula is passed down from like generation to generation.
Yep.
And so forth on. Like when we gonna stop this? Like
you gotta break the cycle at some point.
Yeah. And I'm real blessed to have the life I had. Got both parents, and they were real supportive on like stuff that I wanted to do, even if it wasn't like their standard of social norm.
We come from a community where a household that has both parents is like
major blessing.
That it's like what they say is like 60, no, it's way higher than that. Like 92% of people like in our community don't have both parents at home.
Dang, I didn't even know it was that.
Yeah, it's high, man. Like, and I could be exaggerating that number, but it's really high. And you wouldn't think, even like I had both parents, but at a point in my life, my parents were separated, and by the time they renewed their vows, my dad passed of cancer. So it was like most of my life it's just been me and my mom.
Right.
So
I wanted to break down conformity. So the definition of conformity is the compliance with standards, rules, and laws. I feel as if conforming is when like someone just straight up compromises themselves to fit in or to please somebody else but themselves.
Right. Oh yeah.
This saying that I found, it was like I think the only reward for conformity is that everyone loves you except yourself.
Elaborate on that.
So when you conform, you're conforming to please other people. That's most of the range, to be accepted. And some conformities, you're basically going against some of your views, your values, your values, morals, and all this other stuff.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that takes a toll on one person, yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get up in the morning and live with that.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, the stuff that you're trying to change, other people ain't even thinking about.
Right.
And it's kind of funny to me because I think about it like, as a child, of course, a child would want to be in that mind space where it's like, I have to, kind of fit in with this other group of people or try to get everybody to like me, because no child wants to be put in a box and casted away from their peers because they're different. Right. So of course, as a child, like most kids, let's be honest, like most kids, they're taught to fit in, to do things that make them a part of the group, but as an adult, as a full grown adult with a job, You got your own life. You pay your own bills. Like, I don't understand. Like I'm being serious. Like, I don't understand why an adult will want to even fit in with the rest of the group, with the rest of the pack. Like, I just don't understand that mentality, because it's like you get to this point where you had to fit in with the rest of the group. You had to get the stuff that they got. You got to get the new car. You done went out and bought you a house that you can't even afford just to look good for somebody. You done went out and got you a car, and the car wasn't good enough, and you had to go ahead and put rims on the car too. And you gotta go out and you tell me, am I tripping? Like, people just be going on vacation just to take pictures on Instagram.
No. That's society. That's
I don't get that. Like, you go on vacation, you gotta take all these Instagram photos. You gotta like beautify them janks. You gotta like tag. You will tag everybody that you done seen. You done like you spoke to a person in the mall and you done tagged them on the Instagram. Like, you hung out with them all day or something. Like, I just don't understand that whole mentality of just trying to look good for the next person and just trying to conform to the ideals of society within itself. And it's weird because people change and they don't even want to change.
Right. Like
you said, you spoke about values, and it's crazy that you got that, because I wanted to touch on that at some point, but like, people change and they don't even want to change. They change because somebody told them to.
Right.
You to change because somebody told you to change, or you to change up. You to switch your whole game up because somebody said that you needed to, because they didn't feel comfortable with you. Well, 9 times out of 10, because that person don't feel comfortable with you, what you gonna do? You gonna switch up your whole life plan? Okay, yeah, I had these dreams and goals, but somebody told me that they ain't like that, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch back. I'm gonna go ahead and switch back to please them. No, hell no. Look, check this out, for real. I want somebody to hear me when I say this. Like, there's going to be 1,000,001 people who don't like what you doing.
Facts.
But there's also going to be 1,000,002 people who love what you're doing.
Oh.
So why worry about the people over on the dark side that don't want to fit in, they don't want to grow with you, instead of you moving on. You done got so tied up in the relationship that's not benefiting you that you done forgot to move on to the relationships that will.
Right. Ooh. Whew. That was a good one. But like that's that social brainwashing. Like, they will force it down your throat. They implement it in your brain with like subtle whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
hints.
It's a word for it. Subliminal. There we go.
Oh, subliminal messages.
The subliminal messages.
Yeah.
You gotta have the nicest car, the fanciest whatever.
No doubt.
Malcolm.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, even Marcus, I ain't trying to call you out, bro. But you gotta you gotta show this shirt on camera, bro. This is the reason why I don't wear. This is the reason why I don't wear nobody else's brand. And for anybody who's listening to the audio, Marcus is wearing a shirt with a panda dabbing. He dripping. He fresh as I don't know what.
2 chains.
And got 2 gold chains on. With the Ray-Bans on. He got the Ray-Bans on.
But yes, just like that.
It's just like that.
You have to do all that, pay all this money just to be socially accepted as, all right, he's a cool kid, or he got what's going on. He's hip to the trends and all this other stuff. But like that.
Oh no. Let's get into that too, because somebody will look at that shirt and be like, yeah, that gold chain look nice. Let me go ahead and cop that jump so I can look like I got money. So you got folks out here trying to fit into the wrong category. They trying to fit into the let me look like I got money.
That Damn.
But they don't really realize that the people that they trying to be like are the people who created wealth for themselves and their
Right.
family. They ain't those people ain't create money for their family. They didn't create money problems for their family. They didn't just go out and just start buying stuff. So okay, yeah, let me look rich. No, the goal is to be rich, not to look rich.
Facts. Those the same people, like we said, they just they want to fit in, and they'll do it by any means and put
Any means necessary.
all that effort into something that could be productive for them, but they would just
yeah, man. But that's just impersonation, though, man.
yeah, and
It's straight up impersonation.
It attracts the wrong people. Like how long you gonna put up that front, and then once, like, all right, say the front works, say you do get the girl, the guy, or whatever. How you gonna keep it going?
Bruh.
Like,
for
you
real.
can only fake it, but so much.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. And I wish Alyssa was here so she could tell you the story, and she probably wouldn't, even if she was, because she's scared to talk on the microphone. I love you, baby. I love you. But I'm gonna talk about you. But people change, like you said, people changing for the wrong reasons, and
Hope you're not going where I think you're going with this. I said, I hope you're not going where I think you're going with this.
No. So people out here changing for the wrong reasons, and I'm glad you said that, because if you change it for the wrong reasons, it ain't sticking. And ET said, I love this, bro. I loved it. Like, for real, like, I love ET. For anybody who know me, know I love ET. And we definitely gotta go to his conference in October, fam. Like, it's not even an option at this point. Like, if we don't surround ourselves with people like that, bro, like, we are never going to have those people in our, like, we'll never be able to be those somebodies for somebody else. Like, so we got to go to that conference. Like, there's no doubt that we gonna be up in that thing. But what he said, you are changing. You made a difference in your situation. You just looked at me and seen that I'm up at 3:00 and I'm successful. So you gonna get up at 3:00 and you think you about to be successful. Nah, because you trying to recreate the behavior, but you never recreated the mentality. So it ain't even gonna stick in the first place. So and I'm gonna put an example out there. For guys, I'm a kind of bring it down to a different level real quick,
right,
and try to get it so everybody understand, because I want people who's listening to this to understand, like, you tried to change so you can get a woman. So you tried to change to get a woman. And this is why I said I'm gonna bring Lee's name into this. Alyssa, I love you. I promise you. I love you. We gonna take it to another level together. I promise. But when I was single, before I met Alyssa, there was some things that needed to happen in order for me to be with Alyssa. The problem was that 2 years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago now, I wrote a list, and this list consisted of all of the things I wanted in my relationship and all the things I wanted in my potential partner. Mm-hmm. This list was long. I mean, about 2 or 3 pages long. And here was the problem. I realized that there was something that I wanted, but I wasn't the person that was going to get that. At that time, I wasn't the person. At that time, I wasn't the person that was going to be able to get that. So there was a difference. There was something that needed to happen. I didn't change because somebody told me I needed to change. I changed because there was something that I wanted. And in order to keep that, in order to get that, and in order to keep that, I had to become something different. Now, I'm not saying that to say that I was like some kind of douchebag or something that, I was out here dogging women. No, I was like fresh from a divorce. So, I was hurt. I was in a place where I was like, yo, I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life. So when I wrote that list, because I was like out here just like kind of like bumping around and just falling into relationships. Like, but when I wrote that list, there was something that needed to happen in me. There was a shift that needed to take place in my personality, in my thought process, in order to keep that woman.
That's kind of like a saying that well, not a saying, but a story that Steve Harvey had. So he wanted this car. He had, saved up the money and all this other stuff to get this car. I think he paid for it and all that or whatever. I think he was getting it from like his uncle or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
his mom said,
how you gonna, have the car, but you got, this
you already
old
got a
hoopty.
car.
Yeah, old hoopty sitting on blocks out there.
You already got a car. So can I clean it up for you a little bit?
Yeah, because if you know more than it.
So Steve Harvey wanted to buy this car.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a car that was sitting on blocks, and it was in the back of the driveway.
Right.
And it had all these oil pans and everything on it. The car was beat up or whatever. And Steve Harvey's mom said, he told his mom, and she said, but you already got a car.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he said something about it, she would say, but you already got a car. And he went out, got, 2 jobs just so he can save up money for this car. And every time he would say something about how much he had to buy the car, his mom would say, but you already got a car. And what he thought that she was saying was, you don't need to buy another car because you already own a vehicle. But what she was trying to tell him was, you ain't got space to put that car because you already got a car.
Yep, just like that. So he finally got it, and he went out, and I guess he got his cousin, uncle, somebody to come get the car, cleaned up the space, made it look all nice or whatever. I guess I think he said the grass in that spot was dead, so he fixed that up too, and made it look all nice already. And I think the week later or something. I mean, I
don't really remember.
He finally got the car, and
yeah,
he had space for it.
Yeah.
So that kind of
but it taught him the lesson that you
can't be out here wanting something, and you ain't got nowhere else to.
Yeah,
to put it.
You already, like Marcus said, you already got the juice. What you said? You got the. What was the term that you used when you you got the bait? You got the bait already.
Right.
You got the bait. Don't work with what you got. But could you believe that? I don't know where you heard that from, but he said that exact story. There's that exact same story in his book Jump. And when I read Jump, that was it's funny how you brought that up as a reference to what I was just saying, because what I was just saying happened after I read that.
Legit. Hey, look at the universe. Look at God.
Right. Look at the universe, right?
Being like mundane and normal and just wanting to be what other people are. Like, why? Why do we go above and beyond for people that could give two flying shits about you? Like, why do we go and try to butt kiss and just be accepted by them? Like, I remember in high school, like our school colors were royal blue. But like all the basketball players, they would want to get these fancy shoes, and at that time the most popular shoes was foam posits. I think that's what they call them.
Oh yeah, foam posits. Yeah, I remember those.
At this one particular time, the pink ones, these neon pinkish ones, were like just everyone's favorite, and they would wear them. They bought them and wear. I'm like, I thought we not supposed to wear that bright color pink for men. And like whole
but it was a men's shoe.
But that didn't match like not one of these guys' outfit. Like a royal blue. Like this dude looked like a blueberry with some pink foam posits on. Like, how is this normal? How did we get here?
We were brought here on a ship.
It's
And I hate to use a reference to slavery, but
I
it's
mean,
the same concept,
it
bro. Like
is.
you were taken to something that they made you think was important, and then you just fell for it. And I want to put this out there. Everybody remember Dr. Seuss. You know, he had the cat in the cat in the hat, the green eggs and ham, Horton Hears a Who. But Dr. Seuss was a great philosopher. Like if you want to talk about like the things that like somebody who just thought really deep. Like his stories didn't sell because they were like good nursery rhymes for kids. Like his stories sold because the ideas, the thought process that it put you in when you were reading them. Dr. Seuss once said that today you are you. That is truer than true. There will never be another you that's more youer than you.
All right.
So with that being said, I just want to understand like why anybody would would even want to try to be anybody else. Like it just doesn't make sense to me for you to want to be like anybody else. You being like everybody else is not going to get you anywhere in life, but where that person is. You can't go out and create any kind of success for yourself in life trying to be like the next person. It's not possible. You can try to come in and be like the person that you know you go to work with, and you're just going to be like that person that you go to work with. That's it. Like you can use people for influence, but you can't use people to be you. You can't be them.
Yeah.
Like you can't mirror something that somebody else is doing and be that person. That person already exists. The mold was made to make you, and that mold disappeared. That mold might have been altered to create your children, but that mold can't be used for another person. It's not possible. It just doesn't exist. So this is what I need people to understand. This is what I need y'all to do. I need you to get to a place where your values about yourself are deeper than the opinions of how other people feel about you. I need that to happen, because once that happens, like unless you do that, there will be no way for you to actually create any success for yourself. You can't maintain a life worth living, because everything that you do, you're going to regret at the end. If you out here trying to be like everybody else, man, like you're going to get to a point where you start to realize that you're not yourself. You're not yourself. You can't possibly you can't look in the mirror after a whole day of being like Gucci Mane or NBA young boy or you know, I'm just talking about the people that you know that we come in contact with every day.
Facts.
You know, we got dudes coming to work, bro. Like why you coming to work in a warehouse trying to look like NBA young boy?
Bruh. Party ready. Oh my
Like
God.
party ready, yeah, yeah. My man come to work with the gold teeth on and the fake chains and the expensive
Rings,
sunglasses,
all
rings
this.
on, all type of stuff, and we
Like-
gotta leave them. We gotta come through a metal detector at the end of our shift and to go on break, and you gotta take all that stuff off. Like
how do you work?
bro? What exactly? Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you can't create no kind of success for yourself trying to do that. Like, you spent all of your money on all of this stuff. If you were really trying to be like them, you would do what they do and not look like how they look.
Our habits shouldn't be changed for others. Like our personality is like our own. Like it should be, you know, honed and just like can I say last episode? Like last episode, or you know, a couple episodes back, we talked about people's talents. Like you should want to find your talent and like just make it your own, make it unique, put your own style to it. Like we all like different stuff. We were made to be different. We're different and flawed.
Yep.
Everyone's flawed.
Everybody embrace that.
Yeah, like
Fully embrace the flaws.
like when man first got here, you know, we were called, well, scientifically we're called Homo sapien. You know, it means like wise man or whatever. When we were here, we were fearful of everything. Like we didn't have the means to do much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we basically picked off of like scraps from, you know, larger animals and stuff like that.
Right.
But you know, over time we hunt those large animals now, and like we have grown over, you know, our weaknesses. Like we've found ways to conquer them. But like, why are we in a state now where that weakness, that comfortable place is all right? It's okay. We want to stay here.
Yeah.
This
little
is my
box.
no square. Don't touch me in my
no square. So, thank you for listening to the Dirty Trump Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to get over to amgdynasty.com and check out all of our other content and all of our merchandise and various things that we got going on. Big things coming for the future. So I definitely need you guys to opt in on our email list and hit us up on info at ascensiondynasty.com and let us know what you guys think of all of our content. We would love to get some ideas, some fresh new ideas from you guys, and implement those things in the future for your entertainment. Mind you, these conversations that we have aren't for entertainment purposes, but for educational purposes. So share these videos, get your friends on them. If we say something that hits you well and it puts you in a good place, let us know on Facebook on our Dirty Trunk page, or let us know in the comment section on our website, and we will definitely get back to you on that one. And on that note,
also sorry, good job.
You good.
And also, if you have like just something to say, or like something that, you know, we got wrong, or something that you don't necessarily agree with, or, you know, just, you know, hit us up, you know, because we're learning as well. We're learning, you know, right along with you guys, and we just all want to, you know, rise and grow together.
Right.
So
absolutely, check me. Please check me. I promise you, I don't bite. Yeah, please check me, because I love to be. I love to be wrong about something, because it starts a conversation. It helps me understand that I'm learning something. So I love to be wrong about stuff. So let's start that conversation. On that note, we catch you guys on the next one, and we out.
Peace.